welcome to another video. This one's going to be a long guided visualization. It's going to be a magical journey from the center of the earth up to the clouds. So after this short little intro, the screen is going to be black, so put your phone down. There's not going to be any video at all, okay? Eyes closed. Eyes closed. You ready? Let's begin. Close your eyes and put your phone down. Just listen and drift. Your journey today begins at the very center of the earth. To reach the clouds above, you'll travel through each layer of the earth, discovering a small item in each level to tuck into your pocket. Each one is needed for the final phase. A gentle puzzle will also await you, and once solved, you'll move closer to the surface, until at last, you weave together your collected treasures and float into the clouds, drifting weightlessly into peaceful sleep. You close your eyes in the real world and open them to your imagination, the world that exists inside your mind. A hidden world tucked away in the very center of our planet. A completely safe, calm, serene, full of wonder and friendly creatures protective over you, who know exactly who you are. As we begin our journey from the center, with each advancing level, you will reach the other layers of the earth. Worlds completely different from the one we know here and now. Safe worlds that you can go back to anytime you want. All you have to do is close your eyes and allow your mind to travel there, to the world you deemed your favorite. And in each world, you will have a mission and an item that you must collect and safely tuck into your pocket. A fun and relaxing visualization experience. So relax and make yourself comfortable, whatever that means for you, on your bed, on a couch, on a recliner chair, in a sitting position, whatever you like. Take a deep breath in, and on the out, you're there in the green wonderland that is the core of the earth, the heart of the earth. As you take your first look around, you notice the sheer vibrancy of the green that lives and breathes all around you. Swirling soft ferns envelop this land, and wildflowers are sprinkled all throughout as if confetti, balancing on the tips of grass blades. Fresh green vines wrap themselves around the tree trunks of trees and hang from the sky as far as the eyes can see. Shrubs cover the horizon like clouds erupting from the sea at sunset. tiniest seedlings grow all around, waiting to bloom. The sun of the earth's core gently melts its light through the greenery, casting the softest dancing shadows on the mossy ground you walk on. You're barefoot, and the moss feels soft, dry, and comforting to walk on, grounding. A soft carpet with every step you take. Your eyes continue to dance throughout the landscape, taking in the beauty of where you've just found yourself, until you see something ruffling the large leaves off to the left of you. As if the pages of a book, you see a tiny creature emerge, a barefoot elf humming softly, tending to the mushrooms blooming from the forest floor. Its yellow burlap woven vest, white sweater of a rather itchy looking wool, and red linen pants cut off at the ankles seem perfectly fine and suited to a creature of its size. The elf looks towards you and smiles, as if saying, "There you are," and starts walking towards you, its acorn bracelet clanking about. Gentle, curious, and full of woodland wisdom, the elf says, "You must be here for the green bean. Follow me." And with that, your first mission begins. You must find the glowing green bean, a seedling floating about the forest. With every step you take, more and more of the landscape opens up before your eyes. Gently swaying willow trees sway from left to right, from right to left. You push their long branches out of the way to clear the path. Parrots, toucans, and birds you've never laid eyes on, with an infinite array of color, span their majestic wings as they fly past you. And there you see it, a tiny green bean floating in the air as if beckoning you to take it. The elf stops, looks to you, and smiles the friendliest of smiles. The elf says, "In order to take it, you must identify what this translucent shape is that it's trapped inside, and trace it along all of its sides." The shape that the bean is stuck inside. The shape is a cube with a triangular prism resting on top of it. What shape is this? Good. That's a house. Now trace the letters of house one by one on one side of the small house, and it will unlock. H-O-U-S-E. The tiny house clicks open and you take the bean in between your thumb and index finger, and you place it in the palm of your other hand. It glows a soft but bright green light and feels warm in your hand. You suddenly feel lighter and you notice you're levitating. The bean whisking you up higher and higher and higher into the clouds until the windy whispers become so strong you have to close your eyes, and you suddenly feel a damp warmth, and you open your eyes only to find yourself in the underground tree root hollow, the next layer of the earth. Here you find yourself sitting on the damp, soft soil of underground tree root hollow. A tiny village tucked away in the next level from the earth's very core. This is a land where the oldest, wisest, most ancient trees have dug their roots into the ground, growing deep, deep into the earth's center. Like swirling spears, the roots of the trees that keep us shade on the surface of the earth extend up into the sky here, as far as the eyes can see. Towering roots as thick as skyscrapers twist, bend, and arch all throughout the village, casting infinite shade on this dark, damp, sleepy village. The trees send glowing signals that travel in between each other as they communicate with the land. The network of white-capped mushrooms and drink from the nutrient-dense soil. The village is immense and expansive, but so tightly populated, with little brick homes built into the soft, mossy mounds of earth and roots, that it feels small. Some are built into the base of the arching and twisting roots of trees, while others are built higher up. Some homes are built into the rocks and tiny caves, while others into the tiny hilltops that cover the forest floor, extending deeper into the ground, with only the rooftops and top floor windows peeking out. The entire village is lit up with an infinite number of firefly lamps, providing light to the animals, elves, and other creatures thriving here. You sense the utmost peace and tranquility. It's quiet, the sound of crickets, rummaging raccoons, and pecking birds ruffling leaves and roots. The windows of the homes pulse with warm glowing light, probably from candles. Here, you must collect a handful of soil, put it in a pouch, and into your pocket. You must knock on the door of one of the houses in the cozy village to ask for a cotton pouch. Then, in order to succeed to the next level, you have to unscramble the letters floating in the hollow of an ancient tree root in order for the plasma portal to open up and whisk you away into the next level. And then you see a house that looks particularly friendly. It's gently nestled above a twisting tree root, with its rounded corners and soft storybook curves. It looks as if built from salt dough, soft, doughy clay, as if shaped by tiny woodland hands. The roof is red, covered in patches of moss, with its eaves sprouting curving small clusters of white-capped mushrooms. Smoke lazily pours out from the chimney, smelling of wood and baking bread, and its windows glow like melted golden honey in the dusk. You take a step towards the door and knock 3 times. A friendly-looking woodland creature, like one you've never seen before, opens the door with a neighborhood smile and hands you a little cotton sachet with cotton drawstrings. A second creature peeks out from beyond and, in a small piece of newspaper, hands you a piece of freshly baked sourdough loaf, steam curling from the slice. You say your most gracious thank you, and they softly close the door. You take a starved bite of the bread, the most delicious bread you've ever had. A tiny knob of butter melts from it, soaking into the crust and crumb. You finish off the slice and, from the side garden of the house, take a handful of soil, pour it inside the sachet, close the drawstrings shut, and place it in your pocket where the bean is. You start walking in search for the root with the portal, and you see it off into the distance. Finding it was effortless. You enjoy every second of the quiet, peaceful walk. As you approach it, you see the swirling portal nestled in an arching tree root, forming an oval. Inside, you see 5 letters floating and swirling on its surface. The letters are P, L, E, S, E. Can you unscramble the letters to form the word? Good. The word is sleep. The letters disappear and the portal forms a swirl in its center. You step inside, and on the other side awaits one of the most beautiful worlds you've ever seen. The weightless crystal rain realm. This is the realm that supplies all the water for the Earth's surface, with crystals that form from the crystalline air in this realm. Crystal raindrops are suspended from the sky as if threaded, so many. It looks like mirrors are reflecting this perfect array of tiny gems and jewels. The ground is a milky white, sandy surface with glittering specks of crystal that reflect light off of the twinkling raindrops. When a breeze comes through, they clink and bump into each other, creating a sound not of this earth. A soft, delicate tingling, like tiny stars made of glass, creating the song of colorful tones, a hymn that your heart instantly recognizes. One ancient and pure and beautiful, like the sound of the sea, the wind, the rain, and the tree leaves swaying in the wind. A sound so foreign, but at the same time so deeply known. You look around and are overwhelmed by the pink pastel colors, translucent and glittering, that make up the rainy, crystalline sky. Soft pink, light lilac, powder blue, pastel yellow, light autumn orange, and an iridescent, transparent color. The landscape is impossibly soft, yet overwhelmed with reflective, glass-like color. Your mission here is to guide the raindrops meant to travel up to Earth and filter them into the portals that open into the sky using the power of your mind. These all travel to our oceans, lakes, rivers, waterfalls, rainfalls, and storms. Guide the yellows into one portal in the sky. You can imagine it now. Guide the lilacs into another. Now the powder blues. Now the soft pinks. The light autumn orange. And now the iridescent, transparent ones. Good job. Now, as you're watching them travel up and away, collect one crystal raindrop of each color and put them into your pocket along with the soil and the bean. You'll need those for later. A large crystal with a rounded indent just big enough to scoop you up, gently swoops you up into the misty rain clouds. It's quite comfortable here. The sound of the raindrops clanking together gets louder and louder until suddenly you break through the mist and you begin to float. You're now in the fish tropic realm, a vividly colored, mesmerizing underwater world of fish, plant life, and sea creatures. There's nothing to collect here, only admire. Your mission, however, is to discover a code that you'll need in order for the whale to take you to the next level. You will find the numbers written in the patterns of 5 of the fish swimming past you see a gentle dolphin elegantly swim past you. Atop its head, you see the number 1. You float softly, looking all around, and you see an angelfish. And its mesmerizing blue and yellow stripes. You see the number 1. Then you decide to swim further down in search of the next number. A friendly betta fish looks at you and turns, swimming further down, as if guiding you to your next clue. You then see the number 3 on the fins of a clownfish, vibrant and beautiful in its bright orange and white striped coat. Behind it, you see a regal tangfish with its oval, bright blue body and yellow tail. In its yellow tail, you see the number 5 scribed into it. As you look around the softly swaying algae and royal pink coral reefs, you see a small mandarin fish shyly hiding behind a big seaweed leaf. On the front of its head, you see the number 1. Now that you've collected the code, you begin to swim up into the brighter, more glistening part of the fish tropics. The water is warmer, bluer, and glitters in every direction you turn. Suddenly, you hear the immense presence of something gently swimming in your direction. A presence as ancient and grand as existence itself. A presence so quiet but so immense, like the silent hush of mountains blanketed in snow. And then you hear it. The low, impossibly deep and resonant sound, vibrating and rippling through the waters. This sound is so incredibly penetrating that it pulses through your ribcage. You can feel it in your chest, your head, your ears. You can feel it everywhere. As the smoky waters clear, you see a whale slowly approaching you, as if waiting for you. The whale's song puts you in a sleepy, trance-like state, like the gentle purrs of a cat. You stare in awe, feeling small, but in a beautiful way. In a patient, peaceful kind of way. You remember that you're a part of something so big and so ancient and so meaningful. As you look, starstruck, awestruck, at the gentle whale, you see that the white polka dot corals stuck to its body are buttons. Here you must press each digit you discovered on the fish into the corals of the whale. 1 coral for 1. Press 3 corals for the number 3. 5 corals for the number 5, and so on and so forth. Do you remember the code? Let me help you. It was 1, 1, 3, 5, 1. I'll give you a moment to press the buttons. Good job. The whale's mouth parts and gently swims forward to scoop you inside. You nestle in. It smells like the sea. There's no more water. It's like a giant cave. You're feeling peaceful, safe, and calm. It's quieter here, and the pulsed echoes of its calls send you into an even deeper sleep-like state. The only way to get to the lantern cave is if the whale carries you up, and away. Eventually you see a sliver of light as the whale's mouth parts, inviting you to step outside. You now find yourself in the lantern cave. The lantern cave feels warm, humid, and sticky, as if you've just stepped inside a tropical woodland. The green scent of moss, exotic flowers, and nature in bloom fill the air. The little peeps and squeaks of tropical insects and creatures can be heard left and right. Sounds you haven't quite heard before. Surprising and serene all at the same time. A bluish glow reflects from the deep graphite gray walls onto the crystalline still pond. A sun ray pours in through a hole in the cave, warming up the water and creating a gentle cloud of vapor all around, as if a waterfall emptying into the pond. Floating lanterns illuminate the pond, reflecting fairy light orbs into the water. It feels like paradise, nature's stillness, alive yet still, thriving yet so peaceful, being so taken back by the magical ambiance, you didn't realize you'd been on a tiny boat all along. A small boat carefully crafted with scraps of deep cherry brown wood. A tiny creature gently rows the boat with a paddle, as if requiring no effort. It looks back at you with its big, starry, chocolate brown eyes and offers a tiny smile, as if noticing you've already realized where you are. The creature is well aware of your task and passes you a tiny scrap of cotton paper, carefully rolled and tied with a red bow. Then it happily continues rowing its boat. You observe the piece of paper and open it, reading your next given task. Simply solve the riddle, the note says. I'm soft, warm and round, with a crust so crisp and golden, it makes the loveliest of sounds. I slowly rise and double in size, then sliced and toasted for all the village to share. What is the answer to this riddle? It's one word. Just one word. The answer is bread. The word bread. As the boat slowly moves through the cave's glowing, deep blue pond, you feel it come to a stop and look up. The cave bakery is right there into the nearby distance. A warm scent fills the air, and a lineup of little creatures await outside from the local village situated in the cave. You're now in the medieval village. The little creature hands you another note. You open it and read. Go to the local bakery in the town center and ask to be taught how to make bread. Sell at least one loaf to make enough money to buy the potion drops you must collect at the next level. Welcome to the medieval village. The hustle and bustle of the medieval cave village, situated at the brightest part of the cave, just under the sun ray, is palpable. Little creatures walking out and about, some clearly hard at work, others tending to their families, others cleaning the streets to maintain a clean and orderly town center. You see the cobblestone alleyway leading to the local bakery and take your first step. Butterflies, ladybugs, and the scent of freshly baked goods are all around. You reach the tiny pebblestone house and tap on the wooden, round arch door at the back. A creature with a baker's hat opens the door and invites you in with a warm smile, as if having known you for a lifetime. In a whisper of a second, 3 other tiny workers put a hat and apron on you. Your lesson begins. Wake up the yeast with sugar and warm water. Hello, little bubbles. Put flour and salt in a bowl and mix in the yeasty water until it's a sticky, shaggy dough. Mix it into a sticky cloud and pour it onto a floured table. Push, fold, turn. Push, fold, turn until it's soft and springy. Tuck it into a bowl and cover with a towel until it's doubled in size. Now uncover it, push out the air, and hear the dough let out a sigh. Now shape it into a loaf tin and cover it with a towel again. Let it rise and double again in size. Now that it's soft, puffed, and ready, in a heated oven it goes until it's golden, crisp, and plush. Slice when warm, but not quite hot. Add a knob of butter and enjoy. You are indeed now a bread master. Everyone awaits outside in anticipation for the freshest, first loaves of early dawn. You sell 3 loaves of bread. Although a little wonky, the taste is just as delicious, the baker assures you. They will love it. You did a great job. You should be proud, says the baker. The baker smiles and says, you must be tired and hungry from your long journey. As he retrieves a round, golden loaf of bread wrapped in a small white hands you the bread. The smell is intoxicating. It warms your hand through the towel, and you see the steam rising from the large, round golden pebble before you. You take a bite, and all is bliss. You thank your friends, step outside, in search of the apothecary. A little brick thatched roof building with smoke rising from the chimney catches your attention just across the ravine. There you must collect the potion drops. Remember? The warm yellow windows glow from within the house. You walk across the small ravine bridge and approach the apothecary house. The door opens before you have a chance to even knock. The little working elf inside says, "We've been expecting you, friend. Come on in. A warm welcome to you." You step inside. Shelves and shelves of tiny round bottles, like gemstones. Bottles of deep indigo blue, deep warm amber, and deep glassy green. Rounded bottles, cubed bottles, and imperfectly hand-blown glass bottles sit like little jewels on the raw wooden shelving. You hand the seller your hard-earned golden coins, and she places 3 tiny bottles before you. 1 amber, 1 green, and 1 blue. She carefully wraps them in cotton and places them in a little box. You smile and feel content, having completed yet another step of your magical journey. She gestures you to follow her to the back of the shop. She opens the doors to a rather messy coat closet full of wool, fur, and leather coats, pulls them aside, and gestures you to step inside the coat closet. She closes the door behind you, and suddenly you are in the glowing Wisteria garden. Welcome to the Wisteria garden. A sky of wisteria. Arched rows of deep purple, pastel lilac, and ivory white grace the sky with their vivid colors. An intoxicating fragrance. The soft but lively buzz of bumblebees and honeybees hurriedly fly over the blooming flowers and bushes, hard at work, their fuzzy bodies dusted with golden pollen. Some butterflies flutter past you, their wings catching the light as if stained glass. The purple sky envelops you in sweet fragrance, reflecting a soft purple haze all around. The tiny purple blossoms cascade down like silk, gently waving in the breeze. As you walk, petals loosen from the blooming purple canopy, slowly falling like feathers, cascading down, 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 brushing past your hair and your shoulders. You feel transported to another world, a world where magic still exists, and peace is in the air. It feels hushed, quiet, still. Clouds of pink vapor, as if cotton candy, float above you, gently morphing into whispers of orange and yellow, reflecting the light of the dusk. The sky seems to be watercolor, slowly changing shape every time you glance above you. This world feels vibrant, dipped in colors that exist only in fairy tales. Look around you and breathe deeply. You spot a calm bumblebee perched on a wisteria blossom. Now gently collect it and place it into your pocket to complete this level. Don't worry, it's a friendly bumblebee. Take a deep, deep breath and close your eyes. And now you're in the mushroom meadow. Before you even open your eyes, you sense an unmistakable earthly fragrance. The air feels cool and damp, carrying the scent of earth after rain. Rich, grounding, homely. The smell of fruits and leaves, moss-covered logs, and the softest carpet of chocolate brown soil supporting your feet. Each breath you take fills your lungs with that ancient smell of a rainforest, a woodland, a meadow, a thriving forest after a rainstorm. The air feels dense, heavy and alive. It radiates the fragrance of fallen bark and branches, sticks and leaves, flowers and seeds, decaying and returning to the earth. The sweet fragrance of nature coming back home to itself, recycling itself, asleep. You open your eyes and you find yourself in the mushroom meadow. Tiny white-capped mushrooms perch above mossy logs and soft earth as if glowing. They rise from the soil like little lanterns, lit from within and faintly glistening with morning dewdrops. Some are tall and thin, poking up from the ground with their earth-sprinkled caps. Others short and round, scattered across like white buttons. Their presence is answer enough that nature is still alive, a rooted network communicating with itself. This forest indeed has a voice of its own, and you're a part of it as a being of this planet. Here you must find the elf guide and collect the floating glass orb in order to get to the whispering forest. And oh, what a coincidence, there he is, hiding and peeking out from behind a tall ancient tree. With his mustard yellow wool cloak, sharply pointed ears, and crystalline blue eyes, he sends a soft and kind smile your way, taking a step out from behind the tree. Oh, what a cute little being. You walk towards him with a smile. I'm the one to take you to the lily pad pond to collect the glass orb. I'll take you to the waterfall leading to the gates of the orange ruby castle. Are you ready? The elf asks. You smile and you set off together. A giant inviting lily pad floating in the vast pond awaits you, just behind one of the biggest trees in this forest. The elf hops in, and as do you, the lily pad gently rocking with your weight. As you start to move, tiny glass orbs start to float up from underwater, floating up into the sky. They're special pufferfish, says the elf. You must collect one. They're friendly, they don't bite, he assures you. You reach out to the mirror still water, and just as an orb is about to float up, you grab it with both hands and place it in your lap. An iridescent glass pufferfish orb. Although quite big, you find space to tuck it into your pocket. You see yourselves heading towards a small waterfall with a gate behind it. Bathed in sunlight and a double rainbow. You feel the raindrops on your skin as you get closer and closer. We're going to move right past the waterfall from underneath. You might get a little wet. Ready, says the elf. And indeed, you get drenched as the water bathes you from head to toe. It's okay though. A shower was very much needed after such a long journey. On the other side, the warmest sunlight dries you in an instant. What an odd but lovely sensation. The iron gates open, and the elf assures you to step up onto the soil. You say thank you and turn to walk through the tall, ornate iron gates. And now, welcome to the orange ruby castle. Your mission here is short. Find the elf prince statue and click the orange ruby jewel into the prince's crown so he can come alive and guide you to the next realm. On the crown, you will see a green emerald and a blue sapphire. But first, I have a question. Which combination of colors makes orange? I'll give you a few seconds. Good. Red and yellow make orange. And so you walk. You see a little bird carrying an orange ruby in a little satin sack and drop it right before your feet. The elf prince statue is 15 steps away. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. On its crown sits the round blue sapphire and the round green emerald. And you open the sachet drawstrings and take the cold orange ruby into your hand. You jump up the 3 steps the podium statue rests on and reach up to click the ruby into place. The prince comes alive with a smile. Are you ready to go to the fairy realm? Asked the prince. And what a magical place it is indeed. Here you find yourself in the fairy realm. The fairy realm is soft, quiet, peaceful, safe. Fallen logs covered with moss, storybook flowers, mushrooms growing from the roots of ancient trees, and silver ravines carrying the healing water of this realm. You hear laughter faintly echoing close by and far off into the distance, soft, ringing voices being carried by the wind. Tiny wings flutter like pages turning of a book, flying right past your ears, sending shivers down your spine. Fairy circles intently built with white pebbles glow, illuminating the world so quietly tucked away inside this magical realm. Here, your task is to collect a handful of fairy dust. Your mission is to make eye contact with a fairy, introduce yourself, and be invited inside their home. There, they will make lunch for you, so you have energy to complete your final task. Hurriedly flying about with their iridescent wings and the cutest of quickness, the fairies are always hard at work tending to the land. They take care of hurt insects, take worries away, grant wishes, and enjoy the occasional playful trickery. If you're dreaming, rest assured that fairies are watching over your dreams, protecting you and the realm in which those dreams exist and are very much real. They tend to nature, making sure rainfall is adequate to keep our world alive and thriving, that flowers are in blossom to keep little bees hard at work, and that the sun keeps on shining. When the sun shines, your cat can bathe in its sun rays, your basil can grow, and your smile can stay on your face for just a little longer. They surely are important, fairies, for you, for me, and all that is living. Although a little shy, fairies are kind, friendly creatures. It can take time, however, for them to warm up to you. Making eye contact is a surefire way to get them to warm up to you. Seeing a little hard-working fairy out of the corner of your eye, you try to get its attention, but nothing. You slowly walk closer to it, and still nothing. You finally go up to the fairy, and little do you know, it looks right into your eyes. A kind, warm glance. As everyone on your journey so far, this fairy knows exactly why you're here and gestures you to come along. You walk a few hundred meters until you spot a cute, tiny cottage. You duck beneath a round, arched wooden doorway so small that you have to stoop, and you step inside. The walls are carved like the inside of a tree trunk. arches and beams and branches stretching across the ceilings from side to side. Plants hang from those beams, blooming flowers, and sunlight pierces through little holes of the house. Dewy moss shimmers in the candlelight inside. You hear the warm crackling of a gentle fire and feel the scent of a baking cake. Vanilla. The scent is sweet, buttery, and warm, and smells just like home. The fairy flutters ahead of you into the kitchen to prepare. 2 acorn cups are filled with boiling water, and the fairy plops 3 leaves inside. The fragrant steam smells of jasmine flowers. And then from the oven, the fairy pulls out 2 small loaves of vanilla cake and places them on a thick towel atop the wooden carved table. You look around, and the furniture is crafted from twigs, pebbles, petals, all stitched together with craftsmanship and care. Delicate, welcoming, and made with love. You sit at the table on a mushroom-shaped stool, and the air sings with magic. Pots that stir themselves, a wall of the freshest herbs, self-brewing tea, a loaf cutting itself. A tiny plate made of a seashell is placed in front of you, steam still rising from the cake. You take a soft, plush bite, the best cake you've ever had. You take a warm sip of your tea, and the jasmine tastes as if it's blooming inside your mouth. This little home, this little world, so still, so cozy. It feels as if it was made just for you, slowed down just for you. You finish your vanilla loaf, sip the rest of your tea, and the fairy opens the door to the backyard, where you see a little garden. Here you will finish the last level to float up into dreamland. Take the tiny items you collected in your pocket and plant them. So the tallest beanstalk you've ever seen can grow and carry you up, up, up into the sky, to the field of dreams for the deepest sleep. So, now, your final task is to plant the beanstalk. So in the garden, you take out all the items out of your little drawstring cotton sack and empty them onto the grass. The seed, the bean seed, the soil, the crystal raindrops, the magic potion drops, the fuzzy bumblebee, the glass orb with the sunlight, and the fairy dust. Now place the soil onto the ground, plant the bean, water the soil with the crystal raindrops, drop 5 drops each of the magic potion drops, open the glass orb and let the sunlight illuminate the planted bean. Then sprinkle fairy dust all over so I can grow tall, tall, tall. And release the fuzzy bumblebee so it can pollinate even more. Now watch as the bean sprouts into a single leaf, then sprouts another and another, and grows taller and taller and taller, higher and higher up into the sky, shooting past the clouds as far as the eyes can see. A large leaf opens up at the base, inviting you to sit on it. You get comfy, and the beanstalk keeps growing taller and taller and taller, traveling up, up, up into the sky, up, up and away you go past the clouds, and you arrive. A whispering forest of clouds perched up in the sky. Warm sunlight and a cloud land alive with ancient secrets and dreams. To the land of dreams, the final level and the dreamiest, the sleepiest, the quietest, the most serene, the most magical. You can rest assured you're safe here. The sky is quiet, and the safe stillness beckons you to sleep. You feel your mind shutting off, that cozy, fuzzy feeling in your stomach just as you begin to fall asleep. You did so well. You did fantastic. You completed all the levels. You discovered worlds you didn't know existed. Worlds you can always go back to. Now let the hush of the gentle cloud breeze caress you to sleep into the land of dreams. After all, it's always within